Skrill boys, DGDM, it's only 2 days till Christmas. So, I'm back with some more Jurassic World Evolution content for you. You guys seem to like it. And, yeah, only a month and a half after the last video upload. Yeah, I know. I owe you guys some new content. It's just going to have to take a little while before I go on my Christmas break, considering that it is 4 days till Christmas, 3 days if you're watching this on the debut date, which is going to be tomorrow. Oh, wait a minute. What were we talking about again? Oh, yeah, right. Jurassic World Evolution. To say that this game is the dream game or the dream park building game for JP fans would be an understatement. It's a new modular building, new species, customizable paddock settings, new biomes, and as well as the old biomes, and new sexual dimorphism features and bubbles. Yeah, this is kind of the dream park builder game that fans have been waiting for since Jurassic World Evolution 1, or for a more dramatic comparison, since Jurassic Park Operation Genesis, JPOG for short. And yeah, although I do really love this game, or love what I'm seeing out of this game, it ain't all perfect. One feature being the aforementioned sexual dimorphism, aka creating female and male variants for some of the species. And with some of them being hit or miss, I figured I would take it upon myself to fix 6 species sexual dimorphism. And if this video does well enough, I'll make a part 2 where I redo 6 more species. And I'll also be redesigning some of them as well. So join me, will you? But before we get into the nitty gritty of it all, and I show you how I've reworked the dimorphism of some of these animals, I need to set some ground rules for this series, if it even gets to be a series. The first is I can't change the model in any major way, but there is one exception that we'll get to in a little bit. Basically, this means that I can't really make any major tweaks to the model that would make it unrecognizable from its base form. So yeah, if I wanted to make a new baryonyx and modify the original model to hell and back, I can't. Rule number 2 is that I must stay somewhat true to the JP style, or the Jurassic Park style. If you're wondering what the Jurassic Park style is, it's essentially just what Stan Winston did with the first 3 Jurassic Park films. So, I mean, yeah, that's the best way I can describe it to the best of my ability. Anyways. Number 3 is that the dimorphism must strike a balance of subtle but also visible enough to make the individuals distinguishable. It also must be realistic, meaning it must be based on actual paleo studies of that animal in which dimorphism has been proven in, well, for that animal. And the fourth and final one is that variants are given the same treatment. This one's pretty self-explanatory. So any dinosaur that has a variant will be giving it a sexual dimorphism and a baby, but we'll mostly just be focusing on the sexual dimorphism part. But anyways, that's it for the ground rules. Let's get to the actual fun part, where I actually show you the animals I've selected to rework the dimorphism of. Yeah. Remember when we were talking about the ground rules and how one of the ground rules was I couldn't change the model of the animal too much, and that there was one exception to this rule, kinda. Yeah, this is the exception, but it's with good reasoning. Very good reasoning. This is all to say that, yeah, the Jurassic World Ankylosaurus is not the best depiction of the real animal. Uh, yeah, it's a design, all right, and it's kind of the only Ankylosaurus design that people think of when they mention Jurassic Park Ankylosaurus. But believe it or not, there was actually a design that came before the armadillo looking atrocity that lie before you. And it starred in the most, dare I say, controversial Jurassic Park film. In Jurassic Park 3, the Ankylosaurus made its debut there, albeit it only had 30 seconds of screen time and it was only used for set dressing and had no major scenes. Well, it was going to have a major scene, with it being in a fight with a velociraptor, the JP3 female, to be more specific. And yeah, it got cut because production drama happens, and JP3 had a lot of production drama. And eh, yeah, it was almost a completely different movie. Well, anyways, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Jurassic World Evolution 3 and how this design would be used. For starters, it would be a variant, meaning it would be like the Stegosaurus where it has two variants. The default being the ugly Jurassic World Stegosaurus, and the other variant being the infinitely better Lost World Stegosaurus. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So, it so this really kind of implored me to make this. What you see before you is a reference sheet or concept reference sheet of what basically the ideas that I had for putting this Ankylosaurus variant into Jurassic World Evolution 3. Alongside the drawings, I added some notes on how the dimorphism should work for the JP3 Ankylosaurus, and also small details that are often missed about the JP3 Ankylosaurus that they would kind of need to get right in order to please hardcore JP fans. Some of these details include the right posture for the front arms of the Ankylosaurus and the armor not being like the JP, the pardon me, Jurassic World Ankylosaurus, in that it is more in line with an actual Ankylosaurus magniventris and not the armadillo looking thing that they made for Jurassic World. As for the dimorphism, it's mainly color based, but also there is some slight details that you well, when you look at them, yeah, you can tell that that one's male, that one's female. As for what they are, the colors, the males are more bright and more pronounced, and they have much more patterning than the females do. The females have more soft colors, but the most um, recognizable feature about this specific type of Ankylosaurus is the red patches on their heads, which affectionately gives them the name red-headed ankylosaurs. And yeah, the females would be verging on a hot pink to um, a red, very light reddish color. The males would definitely be more of a rosy red or a more um, YouTube red. You know, the color of the YouTube logo. Somewhere in the middle of that. And the clubs would also have some distinctive features. The males would have some patterning on their clubs. The females would just have one base color. Now, the reason I decided to actually include this is because that there are some studies that show that some members of the ankylosaurid family could have had colors on their clubs, meaning that they could not only be used for defense and attacking other animals that dare threaten them, but also possibly attract mates. And that would even be it'd be further reinforced by the mating animation for the JP3 Ankylosaurus, is where the male raises up his club, his tail club, and waves it around in sort of a little dance to impress the female, and then they just nuzzle, and then their bodies just like slam together. It's kind of like a heavily modified Stegosaurus uh, social animation. But yeah, aside from all that, yeah, this would definitely make for an interesting addition to this game and would really please fans of Jurassic Park 3 and overall just fans of this design. I mean, seriously, it's so good. Now, here's an absolute classic, ladies and gentlemen, Brachiosaurus. Or should I say Giraffatitan? Yeah, sorry, little Jimmy, but the Jurassic Park Brachiosaurus is technically a different species called Giraffatitan bronchi. But to be fair, when they were making the first Jurassic Park film, it was still under the name Brachiosaurus bronchi. The name was only changed in the early 2000s when scientists reviewed an earlier study from 1988 where, where, a where another paleontologist called for Brachiosaurus bronchi to be renamed as a different species due to its very subtle but distinct differences from the proper Brachiosaurus, Brachiosaurus altothorax. But they but people still regardless call Giraffatitan bronchi the African Brachiosaurus. And I kind of do the same as well. But anyways, with that little tidbit of paleo history out of the way, um, how did I rework the dimorphism of the African Brachiosaurus in the game? Well, to be honest, it's very subtle. The females are practically left almost intact, but do get some small changes to the head. The males, they have a slightly more noticeable nasal cavity, like the infamous like nasal cavity that like is infamous for distinguishing Brachiosaurus from other sauropods. Um, it also has patterns on its head and down its neck, and if you wanted to go even further, even on its body. And the female has subtle patternings on its body, but they're not as noticeable as the males. But aside from that, it's not actually really the dimorphism I was worried about. It was actually the feet. And why the feet, you may ask? Well, a little bit of a history lesson for you. Whenever a sauropod is depicted in any type of media, chances are they're going to have elephant looking feet or feet that look like that of an elephant. When sauropod feet were not like that at all. In fact, as you see on the bottom right on the paper that lie before you now as a picture, Um, uh, the front legs of a sauropod, all the toes would be covered up by flesh except for two thumb spikes on each hand, or each foot, I should say. The back feet had like three to two claws on them. The rest of the toes were, just like the front feet, covered up by flesh. And yeah, this is actually something that the Stan Winston team observed and actually added on the maquette of the Brachiosaurus that they were making for the film. And yeah, it's sort of been lost in translation, and I really wish they would bring it back. So, Frontier, if you're somehow listening, please add accurate sauropod feet to the JP1 Brachiosaurus. And also, while you're at it, maybe also majorly just redesign the Apatosaurus to look more like the films. But that's nor here nor there. Other than that, I'm fine with the Brachiosaurus as is. But these slight little changes to the dimorphism and the slight changes to the feet would make me appreciate it all the more. And little side note, I would love it if when they're released and a person talks about it, talks about like a brief history about the animal. They say that that the initial Jurassic Park and Brachiosaurus is now called a different species, but for their guest simplicity's sake, they just call these Brachiosauruses African Brachiosauruses. And considering that there is another variant, that being the Jurassic Park 3 variant of Brachiosaurus, then yeah, it would kind of make this a little inside joke, but also a fun, neat little reference to what happened in real life. All right, gonna keep this one short and sweet. The poop sniffer Ceratosaurus, Jurassic Park fans know what I mean, um, had the glow up when it came to Jurassic World Evolution 1, in that it had a strikingly different design from the base animal that we saw in Jurassic Park 3 that sniffed poop. And it was really for the better because the Jurassic Park 3 Ceratosaurus was a reused Tyrannosaurus model, but modified slightly. Yeah. So I think the Frontier model is objectionably better, but that still doesn't mean that the dimorphism could use some work. Of course, the whole you get the whole shtick by now. Here's the image that uh, I mean the conceptual sheet that I made for it. I would love it if they gave the Ceratosaurus an actual JP3 inspired coloration. Otherwise, the skins for this animal are perfect. The dimorphism would really just rely in the famous three crested horns that Ceratosaurus is known for, and the female would have the less pronounced ones, while the males would have more pronounced ones, meaning it would just be an accurate Ceratosaurus. Anyways, another thing that I would do is slightly reduce the size of the animal to be a bit more in line with the size of the real deal, considering that the Ceratosaurus in this game is kind of oversized for an animal of its stature. But aside from that, yeah, that's it for Ceratosaurus nasocorneus. Let's get to the next animal. So the next animal we're going to be talking about, well, I mean, come on, you already know the name of it. Yeah, it's going to be one where it needs some well-deserved justice because the way it is represented in Jurassic World Evolution 3 is I'm not really happy with it. I know Frontier can improve and make it better, but uh, you know what? Cue the reference sheet. Cue the reference sheet. Yeah, so it's no secret that Dilophosaurus, the the supposedly full-grown form that we see in this game and in the movies, technically they're juveniles or young adults or subadults or whatever you want to say. And there is substantial evidence in universe and out of universe to prove that these Dilophosauruses could grow up to the proper Dilophosaurus size, that being the 20-foot long, 10 feet tall at the head behemoths that they were actually. And yeah, that's what I did here. But it would require adding a whole new a growth stage, that being juvenile, whatever is in between like baby juvenile stage and like adult, basically like sub-adult, young adult, or whatever. The point is that yeah, just keep that in mind. Also, there are some slight changes to the Dilophosaurus model to make it more like the Jurassic Park Dilophosaurus and not like the Dilophosaurus Rex from Dominion. For one, the head is going to be thinned down. The posture needs to be fixed to be more in line with the JP1 Dilo posture. And also, what else is there? Oh, yes, there's supposed to be a notch on the upper uh, jaw in the front, like a Spinosaurid. Uh, it's pretty courtesy of Dilophosaurus weatherily. Whether it's like a subtle one, like on the JP3 Spino, and or it's a very obvious one, like on all Spinosaurid skeletons and the Dilophosaurus skeleton. Uh, yeah, that's gonna get added. Also, the dimorphism, the little extra bit at the back of the Dilophosaurus's two crests, the females would be more blunt and the males would be more pointed and would be more curved and pointed going down. Females would be going up. And the colors, it's pretty per usual. Male has the brighter ones, females have more subdued ones. And if you see on the top right, these are the adults, and they're both actually supposed to be my take on what the novel Dilophosaurus looks like. The female is obviously more novel accurate. The male is more creative liberties. But yeah, other than that, other sexual dimorphism features, the only one that I have written down is that the male's crests are bigger than slightly bigger than the female's crests. And yeah, that's really it for the Dilophosaurus. Yet again, I'm begging you, Frontier, please give this animal it the well-deserved justice it needs so desperately. And it would just go beyond a simple remodel, like a whole reworking of the animal, which I think would be well worth it for Jurassic fans. And yeah, you get the point. Anyways, next species. Next up on our list is Edmontosaurus, specifically the Regalius species. And this is one of the very rare instances here where we do know the sexual dimorphism of this prehistoric animal. That being a weird comb cartilage blobby crest thing that adorned the males. The females lacked this weird head ornament. And this is key to understanding what went wrong here because when Edmontosaurus was revealed on the Jurassic World Evolution 3 website, it is vital to take note that the male had a very oversized version of this comb crest blob thing, and the females had a slightly reduced version of this comb crest blob thing, whatever the hell it is. And yeah, frankly, this is very much easily the quickest one we can do here. Here's the reference sheet. Yeah, the male's comb crest thing, it's back to its original size, and the female's comb crest thing is almost non-existent, but as you can see here, it's still partially there. Um, Other changes I made are the patternings on their faces. The male's patternings on their face are almost cover the whole face of the animal. And for the females, well, the patternings don't cover as much of the face as the males do. And just one little size tweak, it is also the same size as T-Rex in this game, as in real life. And yeah, that's all the changes I made to Jurassic World Evolution 3's and Montosaurus. And also a little side note, if they wanted to, they could add a second variant of this animal, but instead of being Regalius, it's Anectens. This is kind of because that recently this year, uh, the Anecten species had a mummified fossil recovered, and it kind of gives a new image of what the Anectens version of Edmontosaurus looked like. So, little food for thought, Frontier. The last species we're going to be talking about today isn't even a dinosaur. It's a pterosaur, a flying reptile. Specifically, Geostembergia sternbergi, or is it Pteranodon sternbergi? I don't care. I don't care. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Let me have my fun. Let me have my fun. Anyways, yes, it actually has a very interesting history with the Jurassic franchise in that it was supposed to be featured in the Lost Worlds finale, its original finale. But, you know, the Lost World had a troubled production history. They changed the ending last minute, and that meant that Geostembergia was cut. Despite having a design and, hell, even a maquette made of it, it was shunned off to the side in favor of Pteranodon getting a last second cameo screech in the final film. However, as of recently, there seems to be some renewed Geostembergia love in the Jurassic Park fandom, and some of the big dogs upstairs know it, because Geostembergia was included in Jurassic World Evolution 2, and it got a figure by Mattel for its Hammond Collection line, in which its design was based off of the Stan Winston design that was made for the Lost World. And you think that love would carry over into the dimorphism, considering that this is an animal that, yet again, we really know the dimorphism of. Yeah, so here's the dimorphism of them. Yeah, uh, yeah, this is another easy one. The male can keep its large crest, but the females have nothing to speak of in the fossil record. And Yeah, they just had like a little crest nub. But in order to somewhat differentiate the female of Geostemburgia with other pterosaur females, specifically Pteranodon, I would have the top of its crest nub have a similar outline and shape to the top of the crest of the males. So, you can easily tell who's who. And also, little side note, um, I also decided to give it a slight little redesign to make it more like the Stan Winston design, but also still keep some of the elements of the Frontier design. And also another thing, I slightly tweaked the wing shape to be more accurate to our current understanding of pterosaur wings. And as a final little, cherry on top, pycnofibers, because pterosaurs had them. You know. Anyways, with that, this completes the first batch of creatures in which their dimorphism is reworked. Let's get to an outro, don't you think? And with that, I've done it. I've reworked the dimorphism of 6 species in Jurassic World Evolution 3, and also give some of them slight redesigns or gave them some new stuff, if you know what I mean. And I had a real fun time doing it. Would have loved to do it again, but that's only if you guys want it and if I'm feeling up to it. So maybe if you want to see another video like this, and maybe others that are different, why don't you hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell when you subscribe to know when I upload a new video. And maybe you could also like the video if you want to. And maybe even comment down below how you would fix the sexual dimorphism of some creatures in Jurassic World Evolution 3, or just type about how you're feeling this holiday season, or whatever you want. Keep it family friendly, though. Anyways, what else is there? Oh yes, share this video so that way I can, expand my reaches to, spread some holiday cheer. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this video. Long live the Skrills. See you guys next time. Peace.